What if the boundaries of our reality are far more fragile than we dare to imagine? What if, hidden in plain sight, there exist entities so alien, so impossible, that their very presence shatters the rules of the world we know? Tonight, we plunge into one of the most disturbing and unexplained phenomena of our time: the Black Stick Men. These are not mere shadows or tricks of the mind. They are featureless, two-dimensional figures that move with unnatural, jerky motions, appearing and vanishing in places no one expects. Witnesses from every corner of the globe describe the same chilling details: impossibly tall, faceless silhouettes, a shimmering distortion in the air, and a terror that lingers long after the encounter ends. This is not folklore. This is not a dream. These stories are real, and what you're about to hear will challenge everything you thought was safe about your own home, your own reality. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll understand why so many people are haunted not just by what they saw, but by the fear that these entities could appear anywhere, at any time. Miss a single detail, and you risk never knowing the full truth behind one of the world's most terrifying mysteries. Before we dive deeper, a quick but important reminder: most people who watch these videos haven't subscribed yet. If you crave the truth behind the world's darkest and most unsettling secrets, hit that subscribe button now. By joining our community, you'll never miss a story that could change the way you see the world and keep you one step ahead of the unknown. Ready? Let's begin. But be warned. Once you learn the truth about the Black Stick Men, you may never look at the shadows in your room the same way again. In recent years, a growing number of people around the world have reported chilling encounters with entities known as Black Stick Men. These reports, often shared in online communities and discussed in paranormal research circles, describe beings that defy the boundaries of what we consider possible. Witnesses consistently describe the same unsettling features: impossibly tall, thin, and featureless figures, like stick figure drawings come to life, moving in ways that seem to violate the laws of physics. For many, the experience is so disturbing that it leaves a lasting mark, not just as a strange memory, but as a source of ongoing anxiety and dread. What sets the Black Stick Men apart from other paranormal phenomena is the consistency and detail of these accounts. People from different backgrounds with no prior knowledge of each other report nearly identical experiences. The figures appear two-dimensional, with black lines forming their bodies and oval or circular heads with no facial features. Some witnesses describe them as hazy or distorted, as if they exist between dimensions, with a shimmering effect around their forms. This interdimensional quality is often cited as the most disturbing aspect, giving witnesses the sense that they are seeing something that simply should not exist in our reality. Reports of Black Stick Men have surfaced from every continent, with new cases emerging almost monthly. These sightings are not limited to isolated rural areas or abandoned buildings. They have been documented in urban neighborhoods, family homes, and even busy public spaces. The frequency and variety of locations challenge the idea that these encounters are simply the result of suggestion or folklore. In some cases, entire families have witnessed the same entity, describing identical features and behaviors even when interviewed separately. This consistency has led many researchers to believe that Black Stick Men represent a distinct category of anomalous phenomena rather than a subset of existing paranormal reports. One of the most unsettling aspects of these encounters is the physical and emotional response experienced by witnesses. Many describe a sudden drop in temperature, a tingling sensation in the air, or a low buzzing sound that seems to vibrate through their bodies. These sensations are often accompanied by an overwhelming sense of dread, as if something fundamental about the environment has shifted. Witnesses frequently report that the fear they experience is not just a reaction to seeing something strange, but a deep, visceral certainty that they are in the presence of something that should not exist. This feeling lingers long after the entity has vanished, sometimes haunting witnesses for years. The physical descriptions of Black Stick Men are remarkably consistent across reports, regardless of the witness's background or location. Most describe these entities as two-dimensional silhouettes, almost as if a child's stick figure drawing had stepped out of the page and into the real world. Their bodies are made up of thin, jet-black lines, sometimes appearing slightly hazy or distorted, with heads that are either oval or perfectly circular, always lacking any facial features. Some witnesses have even reported that these figures can reach extraordinary heights, sometimes as tall as 20 feet, making their presence even more unsettling and impossible to ignore. Movement is another element that sets Black Stick Men apart from more familiar paranormal entities. Witnesses often recount seeing these beings move in ways that defy normal human motion, sometimes gliding just above the ground, sometimes bouncing or loping with a jerky, spasmodic gait. There are even cases where the entities seem to hover, never quite making contact with the surface beneath them. This unnatural locomotion, combined with their dimensional distortion, creates a sense of visual dissonance that leaves many witnesses questioning the reliability of their own senses. As reports have multiplied, researchers have begun to notice that Black Stick Men encounters are not limited to a specific region or type of environment. Sightings have occurred in city apartments, rural roads, theaters, and dense forests, suggesting that these entities are not tied to any one location or historical event. This lack of context only deepens the sense of unease as witnesses struggle to find any logical explanation for why these encounters happen where they do. The randomness of the locations, combined with the identical descriptions from people who have never met, makes it increasingly difficult to dismiss these events as shared hallucinations or urban legends. One of the most recent and widely discussed cases took place in September 2024, when a witness awoke in the middle of the night to find a black stick man running through their bedroom. The figure had a large, perfectly round black head and no facial features, and its presence filled the room with an inexplicable, almost playful energy. The witness later described feeling both terror and a strange sense of amusement, as if the entity itself was aware it had been caught in the act. This encounter, like many others, left the witness searching for answers online, only to discover a growing community of people who had experienced similar phenomena. As more accounts have surfaced, certain patterns have become impossible to ignore. Many witnesses report that Black Stick Men are not just passive apparitions, but entities that display clear awareness of their surroundings. Some describe the figures freezing in place when noticed, while others recount the beings abruptly changing direction or even approaching the observer. The sense of sentience is deeply unsettling, as it suggests these entities are not mere hallucinations or tricks of the mind, but something with intention and purpose. In several cases, the Black Stick Men have been observed reacting with what can only be described as curiosity or even amusement, reinforcing the impression that they are aware of being seen. The psychological and physical effects of these encounters are profound. Witnesses often describe a heavy, static-laden atmosphere, as if the air itself is charged with electricity. Many report a sudden drop in temperature, a tingling sensation on their skin, or a low, almost inaudible buzzing that vibrates through the environment. These physical symptoms are accompanied by an overwhelming emotional response, a deep, primal dread that lingers long after the entity has disappeared. Unlike the fear associated with more familiar paranormal entities, the terror here stems from the sense of witnessing something that fundamentally violates the rules of reality. For many, the experience is so disturbing that it leads to recurring nightmares and a persistent fear of encountering the entities again. Among the most compelling recent cases is the so-called dimensional breach encounter, which took place in the hallway of the Everett Performing Arts Center in Washington State. Here, a witness described seeing a black stick man that seemed to be partially phasing in and out of reality. The figure was estimated to be around 8 or 9 feet tall, with a slightly oblong head reminiscent of a top hat, and its body exhibited the same two-dimensional stick-like features reported in other sightings. What set this encounter apart was the overwhelming sensation that the entity was not fully present in our world, but rather breaching the boundary between dimensions. The witness initially thought they were seeing a shadow person or the infamous Hat Man, but the entity's extreme height and distorted outline quickly dispelled that assumption, leaving a lasting impression of something uniquely terrifying. Another detailed report comes from a family home, where a witness observed a black stick man standing completely still in a dark hallway. The entity was described as extremely skinny, about 6 feet tall, with bold black lines forming its body and a faint haze surrounding it. When the witness locked eyes with the figure, it responded instantly, darting down the hall with unnatural speed before leaping over the stair railing. The being hovered several inches above the steps, its limbs flailing in jerky, spasmodic motions as it glided downward. This bizarre, almost animated movement was unlike anything the witness had ever seen, amplifying the sense of unreality and fear. The encounter left the family deeply unsettled, and the memory of those erratic, floating movements haunted them long after the entity had vanished. Beyond the visual shock, many witnesses describe profound physical and emotional effects during and after their encounters with black stick men. A common thread is the sensation of static electricity in the air, as if the environment itself becomes charged. Some people report a sudden drop in barometric pressure, while others mention a low, buzzing vibration that seems to pass through their entire body. These environmental changes are often accompanied by an overwhelming sense of dread, a visceral anxiety that goes far beyond the fear of the unknown. Witnesses frequently compare this feeling to the terror experienced in encounters with black-eyed kids or other highly disturbing phenomena, but they emphasize that the fear here is rooted in the sense of witnessing something that fundamentally violates the rules of reality. Interestingly, most reports indicate that black stick men do not attempt to physically harm those who see them. The terror they evoke is not about aggression or threat, but about the deep existential unease that comes from confronting something that simply should not exist. This sense of wrongness lingers, sometimes for years, manifesting as recurring nightmares or a persistent fear of seeing the entities again. For many, the experience is so disruptive that it prompts them to seek answers in online communities, where they discover others who have experienced the same inexplicable phenomenon. Theories about the origin and nature of black stick men have become a central topic among both researchers and those who have experienced encounters firsthand. The most widely discussed explanation is the interdimensional hypothesis, which suggests that these entities come from parallel dimensions or alternate planes of existence that occasionally intersect with our own. This theory is supported by the frequent reports of dimensional distortion, such as the shimmering haze and two-dimensional appearance that witnesses consistently describe. Some researchers propose that certain atmospheric conditions or altered psychological states might make individuals more likely to perceive these beings, hinting at a complex relationship between human consciousness and the boundaries of reality. Others have drawn connections between black stick men and ancient stick figure depictions found in prehistoric cave art around the world. This ancient beings hypothesis suggests that these entities have been interacting with humanity for thousands of years, possibly representing a form of non-human intelligence that has remained mostly hidden. On the other hand, skeptics argue that the phenomenon could be a psychological manifestation, similar to the concept of tulpas, or thought forms. According to this perspective, the simplistic stick figure shape is a fundamental human archetype that can emerge during altered states of consciousness, particularly during transitions between sleep and wakefulness. Unlike shadow people or traditional ghosts, black stick men are defined by their unwavering stick figure, appearance and erratic, unnatural movements. Shadow people are often described as amorphous or hooded, sometimes lurking or gliding silently through a space. In contrast, black stick men always retain their distinctive two-dimensional form, and their presence is marked by bizarre, spasmodic motions that defy normal physical laws. These differences are crucial for researchers attempting to categorize the phenomenon, as they suggest a separate origin or purpose behind these entities. The fact that black stick men are not tied to specific places, objects, or traumatic histories further distinguishes them from hauntings, adding to the sense of unpredictability and unease. The rise of online communities has played a significant role in documenting and analyzing black stick men encounters. Platforms like Reddit and dedicated paranormal forums have allowed witnesses to share their stories, compare details, and identify patterns that might otherwise go unnoticed. This collective effort has revealed a remarkable consistency in reports, even among people with no prior knowledge of each other's experiences. Some academic researchers, such as Dr. Mark Wolfgang Miller, have begun to take interest in the phenomenon, attempting to document encounters in a more systematic way. Despite these efforts, the mystery remains unsolved, and the growing body of evidence only deepens the intrigue and fear surrounding black stick men. Despite the growing number of reports, there is still no clear consensus about what black stick men truly are. For every witness who believes they encountered an interdimensional visitor, there are others who question whether these experiences might be rooted in psychological phenomena or even collective suggestion. The lack of physical evidence, no clear photographs, videos, or material traces, makes the phenomenon especially difficult to study through traditional scientific methods. This absence of proof, however, does not diminish the emotional impact on those who have seen these entities firsthand. Many describe feeling isolated or even ridiculed after sharing their stories, which only pushes the conversation further into the margins of online communities and late-night discussions. What remains undeniable is the profound effect these encounters have on the people who experience them. Many witnesses say they are never quite the same afterward, describing a lingering sense of vulnerability and a heightened awareness of the unknown. Some develop persistent sleep disturbances or anxiety, while others find themselves compulsively researching similar cases, searching for answers that remain elusive. The phenomenon's resistance to simple explanation is part of what makes it so compelling and so terrifying. As more people come forward, the black stick men continue to haunt the edges of our collective imagination, challenging our understanding of reality and the boundaries of what we are willing to believe. Recent years have seen a surge in chilling encounters with black stick men, leaving witnesses deeply disturbed and fueling speculation about the existence of interdimensional phenomena. These entities are consistently described as impossibly tall, featureless silhouettes, two-dimensional figures that seem to have stepped out of a child's drawing. Their bodies are composed of thin, jet-black lines, with oval or circular heads completely devoid of facial features. The most unsettling detail, repeated across numerous accounts, is the way these beings appear to exist between dimensions. Witnesses often describe a shimmering haze or distortion around their forms, as if they are not entirely anchored to our reality. One of the most disturbing aspects of black stick men encounters is their movement. Witnesses report seeing them glide or bounce in a manner that defies the laws of physics, sometimes hovering just above the ground. When noticed, these entities display clear awareness. Some freeze in place, others flee with jerky, spasmodic motions, and a few even approach the observer. This sense of sentience, combined with their unnatural locomotion, amplifies the terror felt by those who encounter them. The emotional impact goes beyond simple fear. Many describe an overwhelming sense of dread and the conviction that they are witnessing something fundamentally wrong, something that should not exist in our world. One of the most widely discussed recent cases is known as the Night Visitor, which took place in September 2024. According to the witness, they woke abruptly around 2 a.m. and immediately noticed a black stick man running through their bedroom. The entity was described as having no facial features, only a large black circle for a head, and it moved with a bizarre, almost playful energy. What set this encounter apart was the entity's apparent reaction to being observed. The witness reported feeling a strange sense of amusement radiating from the figure, as if it was aware it had been caught in the act. This detail, the sense of a jolly, jovial energy, is rare among paranormal encounters and left the witness both terrified and oddly unsettled. After this experience, the witness began searching online and quickly discovered that others had reported similar incidents. Many described stick-like figures that seemed to be in transit, moving through rooms or hallways and reacting when spotted. The realization that these encounters were not isolated, but part of a larger pattern only, deepened the witness's anxiety. The idea that such entities could enter private, supposedly safe spaces like bedrooms has become a recurring theme in recent reports, adding to the pervasive sense of vulnerability and unease. Beyond the unsettling visual encounters, witnesses often describe a series of intense physiological and psychological effects that set Black Stick Men sightings apart from typical paranormal experiences. Many report a sudden feeling of static in the air, a sensation similar to an electrical charge building up before a storm. Others notice a dramatic drop in barometric pressure or a distinct buzzing, as if low-level electrical currents are passing through their surroundings. These environmental changes are not just fleeting impressions. They leave witnesses deeply rattled, sometimes for days, reinforcing the sense that they have come into contact with something truly anomalous. Emotionally, the impact is just as profound. Witnesses frequently describe an overwhelming sense of dread and anxiety, a feeling that goes far beyond the ordinary fear of the unknown. This terror is not rooted in any aggressive behavior from the entities. Most reports agree that Black Stick Men do not attempt to cause physical harm, but rather in the deep conviction that they are witnessing something that fundamentally violates the rules of reality. The experience often leaves people feeling isolated and haunted, with many struggling to find comfort or understanding even after seeking out others with similar stories. The emotional aftermath can linger for years, manifesting as recurring nightmares or a persistent, uneasy awareness of the unknown. Theories attempting to explain Black Stick Men encounters have become a central focus among both researchers and those who have experienced these entities firsthand. The most prevalent explanation is the interdimensional hypothesis, which proposes that Black Stick Men originate from parallel dimensions or alternate planes of existence that occasionally intersect with our own. This theory is supported by the frequent reports of dimensional distortion, such as the shimmering haze and two-dimensional appearance described by witnesses. Some researchers speculate that specific atmospheric conditions or altered psychological states might make certain individuals more likely to perceive these beings, suggesting a complex relationship between human consciousness and the boundaries of reality. Another school of thought draws connections between Black Stick Men and ancient stick figure depictions found in prehistoric cave art worldwide. This ancient beings hypothesis suggests that these entities have interacted with humanity for thousands of years, possibly representing a form of non-human intelligence that has remained largely hidden. On the other hand, skeptics propose that Black Stick Men may be psychological manifestations similar to the concept of tulpas or thought forms. According to this perspective, the simplistic stick figure is a fundamental human archetype that can emerge during altered states of consciousness, particularly during transitions between sleep and wakefulness. What truly separates Black Stick Men from other paranormal entities is their lack of attachment to any specific place, object, or traumatic history. Unlike traditional hauntings, which are often linked to particular locations or past events, Black Stick Men have been reported in a wide range of environments, from urban apartments and theaters to rural roads and dense forests. This contextless nature adds a layer of unpredictability and unease, as there is no clear pattern or reason for their appearances. Witnesses often emphasize that these encounters feel random, making it impossible to anticipate or avoid them, which only heightens the sense of vulnerability. In recent years, the phenomenon has begun to attract the attention of academic researchers, moving beyond the realm of amateur paranormal enthusiasts. Notably, Dr. Mark Wolfgang Miller, a neuropsychologist and explorer, has documented his own encounters with black stick men, including an attempt to photograph a 12-foot-tall specimen in Wyoming. Although the resulting image was inconclusive, the effort highlights the growing seriousness with which some professionals are approaching the phenomenon. Meanwhile, online communities continue to play a crucial role in collecting and comparing reports, allowing witnesses to find validation and support while helping researchers identify consistent patterns across seemingly isolated incidents. The internet has played a crucial role in bringing together people who have experienced black stick men encounters. Online forums, social media groups, and dedicated threads have become safe spaces for witnesses to share their stories without fear of ridicule. This collective documentation has revealed striking consistencies in the descriptions and behaviors of these entities, even among people from vastly different backgrounds and locations. The emergence of these online communities has also allowed for the identification of new patterns, such as the tendency for encounters to occur during periods of personal stress or in liminal spaces like hallways and doorways. These observations have led some to speculate that black stick men may be drawn to moments of heightened emotional energy or transitional environments. As the phenomenon gains visibility, it has begun to attract the attention of professionals in fields ranging from psychology to parapsychology. Some researchers are now attempting to approach the black stick men phenomenon with greater scientific rigor, collecting detailed witness statements and searching for environmental data that might correlate with sightings. Despite these efforts, the phenomenon remains elusive, with no definitive physical evidence to confirm the existence of these entities. Still, the growing body of reports and the emotional intensity of the experiences continue to challenge traditional explanations, pushing both researchers and the public to reconsider the boundaries of what might be possible in our reality. Several recent encounters have provided new insights into the evolving nature of black stick men phenomena. In one widely discussed case, a witness in Scotland described seeing a colossal black stick man, estimated to be about 20 feet tall, crossing a rural road. Unlike the typical solid black appearance, this entity appeared to shimmer with translucent shades of blue and black, suggesting that there may be variations in how these beings manifest. The sheer size and ethereal coloration left the witness shaken, reinforcing the idea that black stick men are not bound by the physical limitations of our reality. Witnesses consistently report that encounters with black stick men are accompanied by intense physical sensations. Many describe a feeling of static in the air, as if the environment is charged with electricity and a sudden drop in barometric pressure. Some mention a buzzing or vibrating sensation that seems to pass through their bodies, making the experience feel even more surreal. These atmospheric disturbances, combined with the overwhelming sense of dread and anxiety, set black stick men encounters apart from other paranormal experiences. The terror does not come from any direct threat or aggression, but from the profound sense of witnessing something that fundamentally should not exist. The growing body of evidence surrounding black stick men has prompted researchers and enthusiasts to look for patterns that might explain the phenomenon. Some have noted that encounters often occur during periods of emotional upheaval or in places considered liminal thresholds between spaces, such as doorways, hallways, and roads. This observation has led to speculation that black stickmen may be drawn to transitional environments or moments of personal vulnerability, further reinforcing their reputation as unpredictable and deeply unsettling entities. Despite the lack of physical evidence, the sheer consistency of witness accounts across different cultures and continents suggests that something more than coincidence is at play. Efforts to document and analyze black stickmen encounters have expanded significantly in recent years. Academic researchers such as Dr. Mark Wolfgang Miller have begun to take the phenomenon seriously, attempting to gather systematic data and first-hand testimonies. Online communities have played a vital role in this process, providing platforms for witnesses to share their experiences and compare details. These collective efforts have revealed not only the global reach of the phenomenon, but also the striking similarities in physical descriptions, movement patterns, and emotional responses. As the number of documented cases grows, so too does the urgency to understand what lies behind these mysterious and terrifying encounters. As reports continue to emerge from around the world, it becomes increasingly clear that black stickmen represent a category of phenomenon that resists easy classification. The consistency in physical descriptions, movement patterns, and emotional responses across witnesses suggests that these are not isolated hallucinations or products of cultural suggestion. Instead, they point to a phenomenon that is both deeply personal and universally unsettling, challenging our understanding of what is possible within our reality. The lack of physical evidence has not diminished the impact these encounters have on those who experience them. For many, the memory of seeing a black stickman lingers for years, coloring their perceptions of the world and leaving them with more questions than answers. What makes black stickmen encounters particularly terrifying is not just their impossible appearance or the strange energy they bring, but the profound sense of wrongness that witnesses describe. The idea that something so fundamentally alien could cross into our everyday lives, even briefly, forces us to reconsider the boundaries of our world. As online communities continue to collect and analyze reports, and as researchers begin to take the phenomenon more seriously, the hope is that greater understanding might one day be achieved. Until then, black stickmen remain a haunting mystery one that serves as a chilling reminder of how little we truly know about the nature of reality. Despite the growing attention from both researchers and online communities, the black stickmen phenomenon remains shrouded in mystery. The consistency of witness reports, the detailed descriptions of physical and emotional effects, and the lack of any clear explanation combine to make these encounters some of the most disturbing in contemporary paranormal research. Unlike other phenomena that can often be rationalized or dismissed, black stickmen challenge the very boundaries of what we consider possible, forcing witnesses and investigators alike to question the nature of reality itself. As more people come forward with their stories, the sense of unease only deepens. The fact that these entities appear in such a wide variety of environments, with no apparent connection to specific places, objects, or histories, makes them uniquely unpredictable and terrifying. For many, the experience leaves a lasting mark, not just as a frightening memory, but as a constant reminder that there are aspects of our world that remain unexplained and perhaps unknowable. Until science can provide answers, black stickmen will continue to haunt the edges of our understanding, a chilling testament to the limits of human perception. For those who have encountered black stickmen, the experience often marks a turning point in their perception of reality. Many report that, after such an event, daily life never feels quite the same. Simple routines are tinged with a subtle paranoia, and once familiar spaces can suddenly feel alien or threatening. The knowledge that these entities can appear anywhere, urban or rural, public or private, creates a lingering sense of vulnerability that is difficult to shake. This pervasive unease is not just about what was seen, but about the possibility that the boundaries of our world are far less stable than we once believed. As the phenomenon continues to attract attention from both laypeople and professionals, the search for answers remains urgent, yet frustratingly elusive. Each new report adds another layer of complexity, reinforcing the idea that black stick men are not easily categorized or dismissed. Whether they are interdimensional visitors, ancient intelligences, or psychological manifestations, their impact on those who witness them is undeniable. Until more concrete evidence emerges, black stick men will remain at the edges of our understanding, a chilling reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be solved, but simply endured. As more witnesses come forward and the body of reports continues to grow, the black stick men phenomenon stands as one of the most perplexing mysteries in the realm of the paranormal. The consistency in descriptions, impossibly tall, two-dimensional silhouettes with erratic, unnatural movements, combined with the intense physiological and emotional reactions, pushes this phenomenon beyond the boundaries of folklore or simple misidentification. The fact that these entities appear in such a wide variety of environments with no clear connection to history, trauma, or specific locations only adds to their unsettling nature. For many, the most disturbing aspect is not just the visual encounter, but the lingering sense that reality itself may be far less stable than we assume. Theories range from interdimensional visitors to ancient intelligences or psychological manifestations, yet none fully explain the profound sense of wrongness and vulnerability left in their wake. Until science can provide more concrete answers, black stick men will continue to haunt the edges of our understanding, a chilling reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be solved, but endured, echoing in the memories of those who have seen them and in the collective imagination of a world still searching for certainty. Perhaps the most unsettling legacy of black stick men encounters is the way they linger in the minds of those who experience them. For many, the memory is not just a passing nightmare, but a persistent shadow that colors their perception of reality. The knowledge that such entities can appear anywhere, at any time, leaves witnesses with a sense of vulnerability that is impossible to fully shake. Even the most rational explanations fail to erase the visceral impact of having seen something that defies all logic and expectation. As the phenomenon continues to grow, both in number of reports and in the seriousness with which it is studied, one thing remains clear. Black stick men are more than just a fleeting curiosity or an internet legend. They are a challenge to our understanding of the world, a reminder that some mysteries refuse to be neatly categorized or explained away. Until concrete answers emerge, these entities will continue to haunt the periphery of our collective consciousness, leaving us to wonder what else might be waiting just beyond the limits of our perception. So, what do you think? Are the black stick men a glimpse into another dimension? Or is there something even stranger lurking just beyond our understanding? Have you ever experienced anything like this, or do you have your own theories about what these entities might be? Share your story or opinion in the comments below. I'm reading every single one. If you want to keep uncovering the world's most chilling mysteries, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications right now. That's the only way to guarantee you won't miss the next video. Each one dives even deeper into the unknown and could change the way you see reality forever. Don't stop here. The next recommended video is about to appear on your screen. Click it and continue your journey into the darkest corners of the unexplained. Thanks for watching. I'm Jack, and I'll see you in the next nightmare.